What really is Bliss? As time goes by, we will be seeing how many of the doubts we have about the universe that Matt Reeves has created are being clarified. One of these doubts that we have had since the premiere of the first episode of the Penguin series is what will be the new substance that the Falcone will be distributing to regain control of the underworld in Gotham. And thanks to the third episode of this series, we can finally clarify this doubt, as we are presented that this new substance that would be revolutionizing the drug industry is called Bliss, whose name means blessing or happiness. But as always, this creates even more doubts related to this substance. For example, what are the consequences of consuming it? Will it be strong enough to dethrone the very popular drops, and one of the ones that keeps me awake at night? Is it possible that they didn't reveal everything about this substance? In this video, we will be discussing all these details. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. Before we start with this video, and to celebrate the arrival of the Penguin series, we will be giving away a Funko Pop from the Batman movie. To participate, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel and leave a comment telling us who is your favorite character from the DC universe and why. The winner will be announced on October 31st. As you know, the question of what will be the next illicit substance that will be monopolizing the underworld in the universe, created by Matt Reeves, comes from the first episode of the Penguin series. Specifically, we heard it thanks to Alberto Falcone, who by that time was the ringleader of the Falcone family, since his father, Carmine Falcone, had passed away during the events in the Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson. We watched as Alberto mentions to Oz his plan to bring a new drug into the equation, something stronger than the drops, which by that time were the best they could get on the street, and mentions to him not to tell anyone about it because he wants to keep Vitti and the others from finding out about his plan. You already know the rest. Oz takes Alberto's life and uses Vic to get rid of the body. When he is summoned by his bosses, he receives the bad news that the operations will be moving to Robbinsville, and in a moment of desperation, Oz mentions to Johnny Vitti and Milo Grappa the shipment of this new substance, which is supposed to be arriving in a few days, which made Sophia Falcone, who had recently been rehabilitated and released from Arkham Psychiatric Hospital, suspicious of him. Let's move on to what we know about this new substance. The first thing we are shown about this substance is that it comes directly from Arkham Psychiatric Hospital, which confirms the theory that Sophia was always the mastermind of this whole operation, while her brother Alberto was just the face of it all. But what exactly is the Bliss? Moments later, we can see that Oz, Sophia, and the chemist working for her go straight to where the product is. Oz, seeing that it's just mushrooms, is disappointed and tells Sophia that they can get mushrooms anywhere in Gotham these days, and that he wouldn't call it revolutionary. Sophia mentions to him that he has a very limited imagination and proceeds to explain that it is not the mushrooms they are using, but rather their basidiospores. The chemist explains to us that those are a variety of bleeding tooth mushrooms and that they are very rare. This is not the only thing, as he also mentions that the psychoactive compound in the sap creates a euphoric stimulant component, and that the high is activated in a very different way than they have experienced before. In other words, this lets us know that this is a substance that many will use when partying. So, does that mean that this plan has no flaws whatsoever? Not exactly, as we also learned that the conditions necessary for these fungi to develop basidiospores are very specific, and that these fungi are extremely fragile, so much so that any change in humidity or temperature will kill the colony. This also lets us know that at any moment their operation can collapse, and without much effort at that. What is it that will make this substance a success and make drops a thing of the past? This is something that was also explained to us in the series, this time by Sophia Falcone. Sophia explains that the world the citizens of Gotham knew no longer exists, and gives examples to back up her words, such as the fact that the city was decimated. Another example is that the former mayor was killed. A madman flooded its streets, and people lost their homes and their families. Sophia goes on to say that people need an escape, and nothing provides a better escape than the Bliss. And that's exactly why they were given it at Arkham Psychiatric Hospital, because it made them happy, submissive. It made any pain they felt go away, and they could forget where they were locked up. Is there something they are still not telling us about this substance? I honestly think this is the case, but eventually they will reveal it. There is a theory that many think this substance is one we have seen before, or at least a variant of it. But in order to fully understand it, you must keep in mind that said substance is connected to a Batman supervillain. This is because in the second episode of the series, we were able to see a character that left us with a lot of intrigue, since his contribution to the episode was a very strange one. Rather, we think that there is something that has not been revealed to us about this character. The character I'm talking about is Dr. Julian Rush, Sophia Falcone's therapist. Despite having a very short appearance, Dr. Julian Rush gave a lot to talk about. Starting with the interaction he had with Sophia, which lets us know that there is clearly something more than just being a patient and a doctor, which implies that he has some kind of control over her, or that he can manipulate her without any problem. Another thing is that not knowing much about him makes him a mysterious character, and by wanting to know more, this immediately leads many to speculate about who Dr. Julian Rush is. Many people began to theorize that possibly this is just an alias or a fictitious name, which he is using to operate smoothly. If so, who might this doctor really be? Well, the rumors are that possibly Julian Rush is Dr. Jonathan Crane, better known as the Scarecrow. If you think about it, it makes sense, since Jonathan Crane is known for performing unethical experiments on the inmates of the hospital where he worked. Which in some cases in his origin story, this hospital is Arkham Psychiatric Hospital. And if this is him, it clarifies for us how it is that Sophia manages to get what she needs to be able to distribute this new substance. So the stuff that's growing on the mushrooms is part of the formula that the Scarecrow uses to create his fear toxins? This could be the case, but based on what we know, we could say that this leans more towards another different substance than fear toxins altogether. Upon further analysis, this could be the beginning of Jonathan Crane's story, before he became the Scarecrow. If this is the case, his purpose is to be Sophia's contact to have the most powerful substance in all of Gotham, which will take her to the top. Julian Rush may have had some sort of interaction with the Joker, or had access to the villain's files, leading him to eventually discover what the villain used to create the laughing gas. This is a very likely thing, as we know the Joker exists in this universe, and is currently locked up in Arkham along with the Riddler, who had an interaction with him in the film, although at no point was it shown properly who he was, and there is a deleted scene of Pattinson's Batman interacting with him to see if he helps him figure out who the Riddler really is. But of course, to know absolutely if this theory is true or not, we must wait for the series to clarify all these doubts we have, and see if somehow this theory ends up being true. But tell me, what do you think about all this? Do you think there is something they are not telling us about this substance? Do you think it is some variation of the Joker's laughing gas? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.